Welcome to our
welcome to our vlog. So for today's vlog, we were going to have a storytelling about the novel entitled "Fall Things Apart" by
by
Chino.
Chinua Achebe. And this is the book.
Wow. Wow. Now, may
So,
ang pangalan sa author ba?
yeah,
Again,
very
ang
unique
is
tayo. So, ano man, pwede mo na ma-talk about the author, ng mga biography
Um,
niya.
ang biography sa author.
okay.
Ay, sige.
So Chinua Achebe was born in
Mhm.
Nigeria during 1930s. He was raised in the large village of Ogidi, one of the first centuries in Anglican missionary work in eastern Nigeria, and is a graduate of University College in Ibadan. Yun
Wow.
po.
Grabe. Si ano ba? Si ang author
Wait!
Things Fall Apart. Grabe. So, ma-start pa sa live ta ma-start pa sa storytelling ta if if
Okay.
makaabot na tag 1 million ka
1
viewers.
million, yes.
Wow.
Of course.
Guys,
Okay.
share ko yung
Ano
mga.
yan?
Ay, ano, face na ba?
Ikaw,
So,
ikaw isa, ha?
Ayan, guys. Okay, yun po.
Wow, alam ko, tinatawag na from is alas. Sino? Oh, wow.
So, may ara sa comment, may nag-comment din nga, i-summarize daw ang things fall apart para
Agad-agad.
agad-agad kasi sila excited.
Wow.
Sila
Gusto nila
sa story ni
Kasi
Chinua.
hindi na magsilip ng story. Para may
Okay.
pasilip.
Ghost-bearing
So,
crystal, i-summarize mo na
Sige.
yan.
Sige. So, ako ang summarize rather. So, pamati na lang ka mo. So, for the summarization, Things Fall Apart, which was written by Chinua Achebe, talk about the tale of Okonkwo, who is one of the leaders of an Igbo community from Africa. His story and experience from his sad childhood to how he became the strongest person in his tribe to accidentally killing one of the villagers led to his banishment. He was wealthy and a well-respected man in his village and has a strong principle. He will try to discipline his wife and children harshly because he believed that disciplining them would make them responsible. Also, one of the reasons why he always exerts his dominance over his family is because, is because of the fear of being like his father, a coward, a weak, and a lazy man who ended up dying without providing his family anything to eat. So, of course, wow lang ka dyan, Miss Mahajarina. So, where was I? So, one time, a neighboring clan ended up killing one of the women of Okonquo's tribe. As a settlement, they gave a young woman and a boy named Ikemefuna, who ended living to Okonquo's house. Not long, he became a well-loved member of Okonquo's family because of his energetic and playful personality. He was a role model to Okonquo's eldest child, and Okonquo himself became fond of the boy over the years. Alas though, an oracle informed Okonquo privately that the child Ikemefuna must be killed and that he must not take part of the execution. He was devastated that he did as what he was also. Learning this, Noye, his eldest son, burst out crying begging his father to not continue, but his father became deep fear. This moment, Noye has started to doubt his father's principle and have begun to resent him a little bit. The day of execution, Okonquo lied to Ikemefuna that he would go home back to his real family, never knowing that it will be his last day living. Despite the oracle's warning, Okonquo himself killed Ikemefuna to avoid looking weak to the other men. He became depressed for how many days until he visited his friend Oberka and began to feel revived again. Yes, grabe talaga mo, Hajarina. Grabe kayo. So, after that, some time passed, there announced the death of one of the villagers named Ogbufe Zudo. Napakahirap i-pronounce ang kanilang name. Basta ayun yun. So, he is also a wealthy man, which is why he has a large funeral. The men beat drums and fired their guns. And unfortunately for Akonkus, his gun accidentally killed Ogburfi Azudo's 16-year-old son. So, as per the rule of killing a clansman, Akonku ended up being in exile, including his whole family. He went to his mother's natal village, which is Damabanta, to take temporary refuge. So, luckily, he was well received by his uncle named Ochendu. So, they helped him to start anew from his house to his farm. Although he still felt a bit disappointed to his misfortune, he still tried to adapt to his motherland. So for 2 years has passed, his friend Oberica visited him and brought news that one of their neighboring villager was destroyed by some white man. After days, some missionaries went to Mabanta. The missionaries' leader, Mr. Brown, persuaded the villagers that their God is not a true God. This put rage to Akonku, who felt disrespected not only to their God but also to their culture. But Mr. Brown pursued his aim to convert the villagers to Christianity. This brought the curious Noye, the son of Okonku, to convert into Christianity. It is also a way to reject the excessive standard of masculinity his father wants him to be. Okonku was very furious to his child to the point that he disowned him and also questioned himself. Sometime later, Mr. Brown became sick. He was replaced by some reverend called James Smith. He was a very strict person, and so whoever are hard-headed to convert into Christianity, he tried to punish them. So a convert who is for example pa pala, a convert who is Enoch who also tried to unmask an igwagwo or a masquerader. Yes, grabe talaga. grabe. So, Egwugbu, which is a masquerader during the annual ceremony to honor the earth deity, an act equivalent to killing an ancestral spirit. So the next day, Egwugbu burned Enoch's compound and Reverend Smith Church to the ground. So the district commissioner is upset by the burning of the church and requests that the leaders of the Umofia meet with him. Once they are gathered, however, the leaders are handcuffed and thrown into jail, where they suffer insults and physical abuse. After the prisoners are released, the clansmen hold a meeting, during which 5 court messengers approach and order the clansmen to desist. So expecting his fellow clans member to join him in uprising, Okonkwo kills their leader with his machete, which is yung parang panalo niya ata yun. When the crowd allows the other messengers to escape, Okonkwo realized that his clan is not willing to go to war. When the district commissioner arrives at Okonkwo's compound, he found that Okonkwo has hanged himself. Oberka and his friends, which is the friend of Okonkwo, led the commissioner to the body. Oberka explains that suicide is a grave sin. Thus, according to custom, none of Okonkwo's clansmen may touch his body. So, ayun ang overall na summary ng Things Falls Apart. Napakadami yung niya, yung story niya. So, pinailaitan ko na lang talaga as best as I can.
Grabe, gid ang ang hitabo sa stories more apart. Grabe. Hindi gud ko wala gud ko ka-expect na lang ato ang ending niya na magpapamatay si Ukon. Since si Ukon ko di ba powerful din na siya, then diba at
Kag wala niya na-expect na mapatay siya sa same way nga hindi niya gusto mapatay batasan na himo kay papa niya.
ayan, mga ka-viewers. Grabe, so mga viewers, diba? Grabe ka. Ayan, consistent kitang viewers ta. 1 million. Grabe ka. Sige sila mag-quiz. So, ayan, yun yung summary ng ng Things Fall Apart. So, at this part, so kung may question ka mo sa mga viewers na dyan,
May hamatag
Comment down below guys para masagot namin yung mga tanong nyo.
Ghost lang.
Ayan, may ata na diri. May ata na question diri. Daw, update gid siya ba na minaw gid sa summary ni Kay. Kag nagbasa siya.
Thank you.
Curious din siya. So, ano kanining isa? Ghost na.
Oy, hambal ni Kaloy, why is Izim na so special to Okonkwo? Ngagit ba lang special si Izinma kay Okonkwo? It's because Izinma is the only child of Okonkwo. Okonkwo's second wife, which is Ekwifi, and she is also Okonkwo's favorite daughter. Okonkwo feels drawn to Izinma for her precocious intelligence and her strong will. More than any of Okonkwo's other children, Izinma possesses all of the personality traits required to grow into a distinguished member of society. In other words, she is the most masculine of Okonkwo's children, and Okonkwo frequently laments that she was not born a boy. Yun lang. Ang masculine si Izinma pero hindi siya lalaki.
So, amo dito siyang special. Gid siya kay kay Okonkwo. Kay si Okonkwo man gusto gid niya na masculine gid ang tao. Then, naisip ko ba, di ba? So, ayan, satisfied ka na Kaloy sa answer. Type 1 sa ato na comment
Basta ba ang pamangkat mo, Kaloy?
Basta ba ang answer mo? Ang question mo, rather. Ayun.
So sino may next pa na question ba?
Na-type siya 1. So, sino gani ang next? Basta daw Maring K.
Sige, ako nagali. So, sa isa na question dito, why did Moe chose to convert himself to Christianity? Naman. Why
So,
man?
si Marisol na nag-convert si Woye sa sa Christianity. Curious ka, Ged? So, amo ni siya ang answer sa imong question. Para hindi ka na ma-curious na nung nag-convert si Woye sa Christianity. So, si Woye kay chose to convert in Christianity. Kaya gusto niya i-reject yung standards sa papa niya na gusto sa papa niya na masculine, ganun isugid. So, amo na siya, di ba hindi gusto sa father niya, di ba hindi gusto ni Woye nga magaya sa father niya. So, si Okunpo na father ni Woye, kay permanente niya ginapunish si Woye. So, amo to siya ang first nga amo to siya ang dahilan na nagpa-convert si Woye sa Christianity. So, and another kay parang na-suffocate na si Woye sa expectations ng father niya. Then balaan nyo na nagdagan gid siya, nag-adto gid siya sa European Church, kanang nag-join gid siya sa European Church para magpa-convert, di ba? Bongga. Then amo to siya, convert na siya. Then dito na nabalaan kung paano mag-read, mag-write, ganon, etc. Tapos nabalaan niya ang mga tungkol sa Bible, ganon. Di ba? Kabongga gani Woye. So, ang rason kung bakit nagpa-convert si Woye sa Christianity, kaya dili niya gusto na magaya siya sa papa niya na isugid, anak. So, Marisol, i-type mo ang 3 kung kaya curious, kasi i-comment sa question mo. Then, siya, so, damo nagpa-shout out diri. Gusto nila ma-mention ang mga pangalan nila. So, i-mention yun ang mga pangalan nila.
Gusto ka mo.
So, So, hindi ka viewers. Wow. So, at pa, hinahinay lang ta ha, kay mag-proceed pa sa mga question, dali nga katambak-tambak na sa comment section. So, next, may question, dali kay gikan ni kay kay Jonald, na question, nami ang pangalan, Jonald. Jonald. Wow. So, ang question niya diri kay how does Achebe become Okunku's adopted son? Wow, English na yun.
Okay. Sana all. So, okay, sige. Okay. So, Achebe becomes Okunku's adopted son through a dispute between the village of Umofia and a neighboring village, Mambaino. After a woman from Umofia is murdered in the Mambaino market, Okunku travels to Mambaino and demands that the village surrender a virgin and a young man in order to avoid war with Umofia. Mambaino complies, and upon returning to Umofia, Okunku turns to the young man, Achebe over to his first wife for safekeeping. So, ayan ang natabo kung bakit naging adopted son ni Okunku si Achebe.
So, interesting.
Now you know.
So, Jonald, ikaw
na Jonald.
is the
Jonald ba ko? Satisfied naman.
Well, 4. Ayan, nag-comment na siya sa 4. Ayan.
Sure ka Jonald ha?
Sure ka kay, may arap, at quiz pag gumaan eh.
Bala mo da.
Ha?
Automatic ka mo.
So, ayan. So, next, aragaliga, parehas na sila niya sa question. Sa mga question. Na-curious, get sila, no? Grabe, yung mga viewers.
Damo din sila question.
Damo din sila question.
Damo sila question, so...
Oo.
Daw nagbuo.
Mga wait, sila ni siya. Sila. So, next na
At
question.
single ka po.
Ano mo
Wow.
yan?
Thank you na, Char.
Hindi ka na lesson na ganun, Char. Hindi ka, mamaya lang, i-contact mo lang
Karon lang.
So, proceed na ita. Then, ang next question, Englisher po ni kay gikan niya siya sa England. Wow.
Wow.
Dapat may access. Dapat sabi niyan, ha?
So, ang question niya, na sa comment section kay why does what causes Okunku's exile from Umofia?
Umofia. Okay. Ako naman sabat sina Okunku's gone off unexpectedly during the Ogwefi Exodus funeral, accidentally killing the dead man's son. Killing a clansman, even unintentionally, constitutes a crime against the earth goddess. To compensate for the crime and protect the rest of the villagers from the earth goddess' wrath, Isidus, descendants burn Okunku's compound, slaughter his livestock, and banish him from the village for a period of 7 years. Amo to ang cause ng exile.
Grabe man, gipalis kita sa village. Killing lang sa clansmen nila.
Grabe no,
unintentional.
Grabe good. So, may kumututo. Miss Madam K, gawin ka sa kam. Kaya hindi kita. Hindi ka
Mas madami kapit ko na daw.
Ako hindi ko kita lang. Sige na. Oo naman. So, may English America yours.
Wow. America mo.
So, ako pa siya for the Marites. Go. So, sa pinaka-last na question, kaya kanina pa sila sa first na pag-summarize mo, diretso na nila di pamangkot. Ganun nga pakamatay.
Tapos sila namangkot ha. Grabe.
Sa first pa lang. Ari sila Marisol, sila Maricho. Higit sila grabe mga pamangkot. Daw nga, curious gid sila kung ano namatay si So, alin ang mga kamare? Ganun namatay si, sino ganito? Si Okunku. Okay. So, sige. So, di ba, si Okunku, yung mga kasama niya, bumalik na dun sa prison. So, so, may anak to ganito siya. Merong European members sa, first is, pagbalik nila sa prison, kaya nag-discuss sila about sa mga plano, etc. Then, may anak ka 4 ba to or 5 na European members. 4 ba to siya? Basta na nag-appear. Then, gitry niya na i-stop ang meeting nila Okunku. Then, si Okunku, kay isog-isog di ba? Di ba? Matapang di ba si Okunku? Then, napatay niya ang isa ka European messenger. So, napatay niya ang isa dito ka European messenger. So, ang expectation ni Okunku,
excited.
Hindi. Gano'n siya ng applause sa mga upod niya.
Mag-side ang mga classmates niya.
So, pagkita ni Okunku sa reaction sa mga upod niya na dili jud sila gusto.
Complete opposite sa niya.
Amo to napaisip siya na kung kung may mahitabo man, then ang mga upo niya hindi siya tabangan. Ana ang giisip ni Okunko. Then amo na to siya sa 'di ba naisip niya to na what if may mahitabo, then hindi siya tulungan sang hindi ko tabangan sa mga upo niya na kung may mahitabo sa iya. Then amo to siya pag human ato nabalik siya sa compound niya instead nga magsuko siya or isuko niya yung sarili niya. Nagbalik siya sa compound niya. Then dito na siya napakamatay. 'Di ba? Ano kayo siya? Murag,
Sabi no?
grabe.
Na
Grabe din si Ukon ko ba? Grabe. So, ng mga kamarites, natubag ba ang pangutana sa all? Kaya kanina pa kung sige comment. So, ang comment ni Marichu Dere, oo daw, grabe. Yes, grabe. So, ang pagkapatay ni Ukon ko. Kato lang, Jud. Amo lang Jud to siya.
Murag iba na rason ganun lang, amo lang to.
Ito lang.
Ikaw lang ang makapatay sa iya.
Oo. Diba? So, na gali ang all nga question niyo. Okay, since alas 12 na sa kadlawon dere, so I think na i-stop na ning live naton taon-taon before ta i-announce ang mga pasabog ta next live. So, ayan. So, first of all, thank you so much for watching sa vlog namin subong. So, I hope na nakagain ka mo knowledge, nakagain ka mo mga lesson about sa novel ni sino ganito? Si
Chinua Achebe.
Yun siya. So, Chinua Achebe is parang yung niya, yung work niya, very talaga, very meaningful, 'di ba? Yung work niya. Then so sa a portion na tasang surprise. So, na siya next live, we will having a big giveaways. So, i-mention ko ang mga giveaways. So, first is iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Oh, wow.
Sa mga million na viewers, may makadawat sa 500,000 na iPhone Pro Max, 13 Pro
Wow.
Max. Wow, di ba?
Ang yaman naman natin.
May 1 million.
Ba't di ako? Nakomplete, ito yaman talaga.
Put ang mahatag sa insight sa Things Fall Apart na novel. So, sino man first? So, ako na lang.
Madam.
Si Rose. So, final message na lang sa story na Things Fall Apart. So, this Things Fall Apart is, diba, for all his life, Okunkus feared dying like his father without honors at his burial, right? So, although Okunkus had lived his life as hard-working man who was a great leader and warrior in his tribe, Okunkus dies in a disgraceful manner, as what Kay said earlier. So, the author or Achebe's message throughout the novel is that change can be devastating. So, siya. Ako na So, next, kung may ara kang
So, go Keith. Alam mo
Kasi
na
ako, realization ka lang about sa Things Fall Apart is that dapat i-accept na lang na nagkamali at tapos hindi suicide or paghang ng self ang sagot sa sa problema na i-face.
Yes, correct. Na siya. Correction na. Kaya,
Hindi na na mag-surrender and i-accept yung mali.
yes. Tama.
So,
Next,
sa akon
Madam
man, short lang na akon, kay dako gini nga realization sa akon, ang ego mo talaga hindi makatutulong sa iyo. Amo lang
Yes. Absolutely correct. Char.
Kasi yung power,
Sana all.
power.
Mm-mm. So, na siya, ang mga realization or insight about the Things Fall Apart. So, katulog ka na ha?
Very good, madam.
Ano ka sa mo, sa lugar mo?
Madam, one time.
12 na
One
date.
time, madam.
Wala ko eh. Ikaw, Madam Kit, ano na oras dyan? Kayo,
Philippines, pa lang? 10 p.m.
wow,
Wow.
ano ka sa Pilipinas?
Oo, sa Philippines, nung sabi ko na struggle ko sa kayo na, sa internet connection.
Okay. So that's all for our vlog. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that everyone has a instant realization or lesson na nakuha dito sa amin na live. So don't forget to subscribe
Subscribe,
Like,
and like.
and share.
and click the bell below. Baka sa book ni Chinua Achebe. Yes, sa National Bookstore and all. Then
You should like.
so bye guys. I hope to see you
Bye.
soon. Bye.